From Libra, this is your November 2019 overview, energetic overview. I kind of want to touch on some of the things that other readers or astrologers might not be talking about, at least maybe not in depth. So I want to give you the dates for, I would just basically want you to understand some of the bigger energies for this month. So you have Mars that is actually being reborn in this month for all of us. We are also having a galactic center Jupiter alignment, which is gifts, with Venus, which is prosperity and abundance. I've got a cat coming. We also have a full moon this month. We have a new moon this month. We also have a 11-11 alignment coming up on 11-11. So I want to let you understand, or I want to share with you some some information. Cat, come to sit in a safe spot, please. That's not a safe place. My pen almost went up her butt. Okay, let's not focus on the pen and the... Anyway, so for Libra, so here you go. This month, Mars has been reborn in your first house, okay? Mars has been asleep for a few months, so to speak, been invisible. So we say that he's now seen and reborn, which Mars gives us the energy, Mars gives us the strength, the drive, the ambition, the passion to go after what we want, okay? So having that in your first house means there might be things about your physical well-being you kind of want to put into your own hands and take some action with. Does that mean working out for you? I don't know. You gotta figure that out. Again, we also do free readings here. If you haven't been here before, put down your birth info below. We will hook you up. Every person that subscribes is entitled to one free, awesome reading from G Allastrology. Okay? And I'm G, in case I didn't say that. All right, so Aries, let's get to you and let's give you what you came here for. Okay? I'm sorry, Libra, the opposite of Aries. Let's give you what you came here for. So you're having Mars in your first house, which is good for you. Now, Mars runs a 2.5-year cycle when he gives birth. And then in 2.5 years, he'll give birth into the next sign. So for right now, having it in your first house, having Mars there means in the next 2.5 years of your life, you're going to have some sort of energy, some inertia, some more ambition and drive than you've had before in the last couple of years, which is phenomenal to have that in your first house. It's literally, it adds to your vitality and your strength. It adds to your physicality. Some people are a lot of air and they need some grounding, physical stuff. Mars will help with that. Okay, so let's move on a little bit more. Let's go to the date of 11-11. On this day, 11-11 is all about this beautiful alignment that's occurring where we have a download of information coming. Okay, now the question is, where does it happen for you? So for you, this is going to happen in your second house. Cha-ching! Second house, resources, what I value, what I make, the money I have, my, what I spend money on. So you're going to have some information coming in there. So it could be a new way to make money. It could be an additional way to make money. If this is happening in your second house, you're going to be mulling this over anyway because Mercury is retrograding through that house for you. And with Mercury retrograding through there, what Mercury does is it makes us think a little bit deeper. It makes us think a little bit more. And so we are willing to go over things, redo things, take another look, go back to the drawing board as far as what I value. And that's what you're going to be doing. So when the alignment occurs, there's help coming, like divine information coming down from Neptune over to the Sun and to Mercury. And so on that day, take a moment to try to have some time to be alone so that you can better hear or see, just be a better receiver of the frequencies that are coming in. And the best way to do that, well, it's like an old school radio where you have to tune the channel into the right frequency band. It's kind of the same way. We are that radio. We are the receiver of the frequencies coming in, and we have to tune ourselves in. So it's a matter of, what are you going to tune yourself into? Turn off the television, turn off the, all the devices, and try to tune into something that you maybe haven't tuned into before, or that you don't normally turn into enough, and maybe maybe you'll get and hear and see something that, well, it should be of benefit. That's the whole point of this. It's because of the planetary alignments that I see, this should be some information that somehow helps you in your life, somehow helps you to clearly recognize that which you value, to bring in more of that which you value, to somehow attain that which you value. Okay? Okay. Don't take any financial risks at this time, though, because it's happening in the house of what I buy, what I spend. I would want to be careful because Mercury's still retrograding. Okay? So the 21st of the month, okay, is when Mercury stops that retrograde, and then we get clarity. And so any choices, any decisions that you make, you want to kind of hold off on spending, I mean, obviously, go to the store and buy bread. I'm talking about don't buy a house, don't buy a car, don't make any major purchases, that kind of stuff. Only because you're going to have some more information that you didn't have earlier. Okay? When the 21st comes, you'll have information you didn't have before. And you'll be like, oh, I'm so glad that I waited. Because if I didn't know this earlier and I did this, I would have been screwed. So just wait. Have some restraint, okay? Okay. Yeah, it's about cleaning up the finances and all that stuff. So you'll get clarity, and that's what that's all about. So after the 21st, spend some money. I got to go over my notes to make sure that I'm giving you the right stuff. Let's see. So then that's going to bring me down to the 23rd of the month. The 23rd of... Actually, no. Let's back up. I skipped something. I skipped the full moon, which is the very next day after 11/11. I jumped down to 21st because we were talking about the Mercury thing. So the full moon is happening in your 8th house. It's right across from where you're having this my values. And then the full moon is going to happen in the house of others' values. Okay? So others' resources. How do I share my resources? Okay? Who do I merge with? Emotional bonding. It's also the house of the other side, of the intangible, of reaching over and breaking through the veil and getting information from spirit. So the full moon can give you, it shines a light on something. It usually brings a culmination to something. Again, be logical. Think about how this applies to your life and in the areas of your life and the people that are in your life. Okay, it's not necessarily on the full moon information coming in. It's more of that light brings a closure to something you're already working on. Okay, and it might be I no longer want to share my resources with a particular somebody. You might see something really basic and practical like that. Because this light comes down and it's, it just takes something that you are already aware of and it highlights it even more for you. And then you become like, oh, okay. Well, I was thinking about that, and yeah, I'm pretty confident I want to go with this decision. Okay, it lends to be a closing type of energy. Okay. Now to the 23rd. This is why I love this month so much, other than the 11/11 setup. And other than, yes, at the beginning we have this big Mars-Pluto thing, but we also in another video, and I'll attach the link below, where we have this beautiful divine angelic help comes in to smooth out the warrior titan type of feelings and vibrations that we want. Like we want to move forward with something in a very physical way. We want to take action. But we have this divine angelic help that comes in and says, okay, I can see the other person's perspective. I know they have this opinion, but at the same time, I can sit back, I can maybe forgive, and I can hear what this other person has to say. And so this overarching energy is with us pretty much this entire month. And so there's a lot of grace that we as a whole, as a global community, are being showered with. And so additional grace is now November 23rd. We have Jupiter and Venus setting on top of the galactic center at 27 degrees in Sagittarius. So for you, this is going to happen in your house of thinking, how I think, how I communicate. This is your 3rd house in your chart, okay? How I think and how I communicate. And for you, I want you to just think about the idea, because the 3rd house is also business and marketing. It is the merchant. You know, whenever I think of the third house, I automatically, for whatever reason, I get visuals of the merchants, you know, and like when this country began, like on the East Coast, and how they were doing business overseas. And, well, it was these merchants wanting to be able to make their own money and not have to do it, you know, under the realm of, you know, the British government. They wanted to be able to do things their way. They wanted to be able to have their own beliefs. They wanted to be able to function as individuals, right? And so these merchants, the third house, the house of Gemini, it's all about thinking and communicating. It's about writing. It's also about siblings. So at this time, at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, depending upon if something is sitting there in your chart, has a lot to do, and it tells us how big this would be for you, okay? So if you're a Libra rising, and if you don't know, you could always just comment down below, and I could do a quick check, because people do that all the time. They'll send me a text, or they'll comment in. Well, people who know me send me text, or they'll comment in, and they'll say, yeah, I'm not sure about this. And I don't have a problem with giving some insight on a particular aspect in the chart, okay? I don't have a problem with that at all. The whole point is to share this knowledge. So thinking, how you think, you're optimistic in general, because you're going to have Sagittarius there, and it's a fiery, optimistic sign, and you have the ability to see the big picture. So I'm thinking for someone like you at this time, there might be details that you were overlooking and that you weren't getting before, and maybe this will be divine guidance coming through, you know, information from source coming through, giving you more pieces of the entire picture, you know, that include more of the little things. Now, having Sag in that place, I think is a pretty good location, because it sets up other things in your chart where you're able to see some of the details in reality. And so there could definitely then be other information, divine source sort of information streaming through. And I want you to recognize this if you're a Libra rising, and if you have this aspect happening in your third house. The third house is the white collar worker job. You know, it's the people who get paid to communicate, right? It's the house of social media. It's the house of marketing. I think I already said that, okay? Also think about the third house as collaborations. You know, finding people who you could be business partners with, but in a way where it's not so much about blending finances, but blending skill sets. That's the third house, our skills, okay? Now, there is a new moon that occurs on the 26th, and what's so freaking fascinating, why I love this month so much, is this new moon happens in the same house. It's in Sagittarius at 4 degrees. So, like, the information you got, you can then place your new moon intention on it. And then at the end of the month, we have Venus, who then pulls out of Sag and goes into tangible material Capricorn, meaning I can give you exactly the information, right? Like, you got this information, you used it, you put it forth on your intentions for your new moon, which is on the 26th. And on that very same day, on the 26th, Venus goes into tangible Capricorn. So there's a very good possibility, in my mind, it says that some of the things that we had inklings of that were going to be coming are going to come, because Venus is about our tangible material world and the things that we value. And when it goes into Capricorn, it's in a very physical, real way. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean the lottery. That would be for somebody where they're having this placement in their house of luck, which I believe, if I'm not wrong, the sign of Leo is having all this happen there. And oh my God. Anyway, buy a lottery ticket, Leos. So what I'm saying is this is a good month for setting aside time to be calm and to listen and to hear, maybe write things down, get moments alone where you're turning off the devices, get rid of the technology on the 11th, get rid of the technology on the 12th, get rid of the technology on the 23rd, you know, to the 26th type of thing, and use your power of your intentions to bring about the realities of the tangible world. Remember, Venus is beauty and harmony and our tangible resources, and she's coming through on the 26th. So be wise and use the energy that's at your fingertips. Bye.